God says, at 9 a.m. today, a massive financial breakthrough hits your life. Open now. There comes a moment in time when the heavens shift, not because of chance, but because something within you has finally aligned with the divine will. Today is not just another sunrise, it is a prophetic hour, and the hands of heaven are pointing to 9 a.m. God is not bound by clocks, yet he often uses time to awaken the chosen. At this exact hour, the floodgates of abundance are being opened not because you earned it, but because your soul is finally ready to receive it. This isn't about luck. It's not about hustle. This is spiritual law in action. A divine appointment has been written with your name on it, and the moment you believe, the moment you say yes, is the very moment it rushes into your life. So open your heart now, open your spirit. That financial breakthrough you've prayed for, imagined and cried over, it hits your life today, not tomorrow. Now the wait is over. Believe it, receive it, walk in it. The power of divine timing. Why 9 a.m. was already chosen for your breakthrough. There is a rhythm in the unseen, a divine pulse that beats beneath the visible surface of our lives. It does not obey human logic, nor is it bound by clocks, calendars, or conditions. When God moves, he moves not by time, but by truth, and that truth is revealed to the one who finally believes it is done. The statement, at 9 a.m. today, a massive financial breakthrough hits your life, is not just a prophecy, it is a spiritual law in motion. It is a signal from the unseen realm that what you've been waiting for is now waiting on you. The breakthrough you long for isn't approaching from the outside, it is awakening from within. God does not move according to panic, need, or delay. He moves by faith, by your inner assumption that the miracle is already yours. And the moment you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually receive it, time bows to your inner conviction. That's why today matters. That's why 9 a.m. isn't just a moment on a clock, but a representation of your internal readiness to receive what has always been yours. The delay wasn't from heaven. The delay was in your own agreement with fear, doubt, and unworthiness. But now today something shifts. The veil lifts. The burden lifts. You suddenly know that your financial story has changed, not because your bank account has updated, but because your belief system has been upgraded. And when that change happens within, the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. You must understand, God never withholds. God is infinite, boundless supply, but he can only give to the vessel that's open to receive. Your assumptions about lack, your fears about survival, your memories of failure, all of these became walls between you and the miracle. But today, by divine announcement, those walls crumble. You are called to see differently, to believe differently. At 9 a.m. is a divine code, not just a time of day, but a prophetic invitation to synchronize your consciousness with abundance. God has marked this very hour to awaken you to the truth. The supply was never out there. It was within you all along. The job was never the source. The economy was never the source. The people who overlooked you, systems that shut you out, the seasons that drained you, none of them had the final say. What you're stepping into now is a life where God alone is your source, and everything else becomes the outflow of that truth. What changes when you accept this? Everything. When you stop chasing money and begin embodying abundance, you become magnetic. When you stop praying from fear and begin declaring from faith, heaven answers not slowly, but instantly. Why? Because it was never God who needed to be persuaded. It was you who needed to be awakened, and now you are awake. Awake to the truth that what you've imagined in your heart is more real than the facts screaming in your physical world. Awake to the understanding that imagination is not fantasy, it is prophecy. Every time you pictured yourself free, every time you visualized the debt paid, every time you felt the joy of overflow in your soul, you were planting seeds into the eternal. And today at 9 a.m. you harvest, not by effort but by alignment, not by struggle but by surrender. You release the need to control, and in doing so you gain access to supernatural flow. And still the world will ask, how can a financial breakthrough come without a job offer, without a raise, without a system? But the chosen ones know God's ways are not the world's ways. When God releases abundance, it shows up through unexpected favor, through divine ideas, through doors no man could open and no devil can close. It shows up in mysterious transactions, in multiplied resources, in moments where logic is defied and only faith makes sense. At 9 a.m. you are stepping into that realm where faith becomes fact, where the thing you felt in spirit now manifests in your material world. But you must do your part. Your part is not To force, your part is to believe, your job is to hold the vision, live in the end, and walk by inner knowing, not by outer sight. For it is written, according to your faith be it unto you. Not according to your job, not according to your education, not according to your background, according to your faith. So the question is not whether God will move, he already has. The question is whether you will move mentally, spiritually, emotionally into agreement with that move. Will you open now? Will you step into 9 a.m., not as a time on your watch, but as a portal in your spirit? Will you declare it done even before it appears, because that's what chosen ones do. They don't wait for evidence, they become the evidence. They don't wait for signs, they are the sign. And when they say yes to God's timing, everything in the universe bends to support that yes. That's why this isn't just another morning. This is the appointed hour, the one your soul has longed for, the moment your destiny collides with your decision, the hour when heaven answers with fire because your heart finally burns with faith. Don't delay it anymore. Don't doubt it anymore. Don't deny it anymore. It's not coming, it's here, right now, at 9 a.m. The massive financial breakthrough hits your life. Open, receive, overflow, walk in it. You were prepared for this moment. Why your financial breakthrough had to wait until now. There is a divine wisdom working behind the scenes of your life that has been orchestrating every delay, every detour, and every closed door with precision far beyond your understanding. You thought you were being ignored, overlooked, passed by, but the truth is, you were being prepared. The financial breakthrough you cried out for, dreamed of, and hoped would come sooner wasn't denied, it was delayed for your protection and transformation, because what good is a breakthrough if you receive it before you're mature enough to hold it? What blessing lasts if you haven't yet become the person who can steward it with power and grace? God doesn't deal in momentary relief, he deals in eternal foundations, and so what seemed like silence was strategy. What felt like punishment was really positioning. The waiting season wasn't God being cruel, it was God being careful with you, because he loves you too much to give you something that would destroy you. He waited until your spirit caught up with your vision. He waited until your faith outgrew your fear. He waited until you could imagine wealth without self-doubt and envision abundance without shame. This is why now is the time. Not because the calendar said so, not because the clock struck 9 a.m., but because your soul finally said, I am ready. You have stepped into the mental and spiritual atmosphere that can handle the blessing, and so the blessing is now released. You must understand this deeply. In the realm of God, nothing is ever lost. Nothing you've endured was wasted. Every tear you shed in lack was watering your harvest. Every night you lay awake wondering how you'd make ends meet was a night your character was being strengthened. Your capacity was being stretched. You were being stripped of pride, of dependency on man, of false hope in systems that couldn't sustain you. And yes, it hurt. Yes, it was lonely. But in that loneliness you were being refined. You were being molded into the kind of person who doesn't crumble under pressure, who doesn't cling to scarcity, who doesn't beg or borrow just to survive. You were becoming the kind of person who commands the atmosphere, who speaks with spiritual authority, who understands that money is not your master, it is your servant. This is why the financial breakthrough had to wait. It was never about the money, it was about the mindset. It was never about the check, it was about the character. God wasn't punishing you, he was building you. And now that the foundation is laid, the wealth can come. And don't be surprised when it comes fast. Don't apologize when it flows suddenly, when opportunities open, when unexpected favor meets you, when debts are canceled, when doors swing wide. People may look at you and wonder how it happened overnight, but you'll know the truth. You'll know that it didn't happen overnight, it happened in secret, over years of discipline, surrender, and deep inner work. You'll know that while they saw lack, you were practicing abundance in your imagination. You were walking the hallways of overflow in your mind. You were tithing by faith when you didn't even have enough. You were giving from a place of expectancy, not from fear, and now the outer world is catching up to the inner world you've built. This is divine justice. This is spiritual harvest. This is the law that says, whatsoever a person sows, that shall they also reap, and you, chosen one, have sown in faith. You have sown in persistence. You have sown in unseen obedience, and now the harvest comes with speed, because you finally believe you're worthy of it. And let me tell you, you aren't. Worthy of it, that lie that said you had to struggle to be spiritual, that money was evil, that prosperity was prideful, it kept you small for too long. But now you're breaking that lie. Now you see that God is not glorified by your lack. He is glorified by your fruitfulness. It is His pleasure to give you the kingdom not just someday in heaven, but here and now. You are not being arrogant for expecting overflow. You are being obedient. You are aligning with the truth that says you are an heir, not a beggar. You are seated in spiritual authority, not stuck in survival mode. This is not about greed. This is about divine order. You were not born to scrape by. You were born to overflow. You were not born to struggle endlessly. You were born to break cycles, to rewrite generational legacies, to fund vision and heal nations. But God had to take you through the wilderness first. You'd never worship the blessing, so you'd only ever worship Him. That's why you had to wait. That's why the breakthrough had to come after the fire. Because now that you've walked through it, you're not just rich in money, you're rich in wisdom, in patience, in gratitude, in spiritual sight. That kind of wealth no one can take from you. So receive this moment. Don't doubt it. Don't delay it with disbelief. Don't water it down with fear or past trauma. Open your hands and your heart to this hour, because it is sacred. This is the moment God has appointed. This is the reward of your endurance. This is the manifestation of your inner knowing. The money isn't coming because of what's in your wallet. It's coming because of what's in your spirit. It's coming because your faith is now fertile ground. It's coming because your mind is no longer double-minded. You are anchored. You are unshakable. You are immovable in belief. That's the real shift. That's the real evidence of breakthrough. The outer wealth will simply be a reflection of your inner wholeness, and it will continue to grow, not because of effort alone, but because of continued alignment. Stay in the posture of already done. Stay in the atmosphere of belief. Don't go back to begging when you were born to bless. Don't return to panic when you've been promised peace. Don't trade your crown for crumbs. This is your moment long. Waited, divinely timed, spiritually activated. You've arrived. Breakthrough didn't come late. It came right on time, and you, chosen one, are finally ready to walk in it. Don't miss the signal. Why 9 a.m. is the spiritual alarm for your financial awakening. There are moments in life that carry a weight far greater than the ticking of a second hand. Moments when the spiritual realm breaks into the natural, when a signal from the unseen jolts you awake, demanding your attention. 9 a.m. today is one of those moments. It's not just the start of a workday or a point on a schedule. It is a spiritual alarm, a divine ringing in your soul that says, now is the time. Wake up. Step into what I have already prepared for you. This is not about a mystical superstition attached to a clock, but about a spiritual prompting so deep that your heart recognizes it before your mind can explain it. You have felt it, that stirring within, the restlessness, the sudden peace that doesn't make sense, the odd stillness in the middle of chaos. That is God's voice, not spoken in words, but in vibration, a frequency that says, there's more. Come higher. And now at 9 a.m. that frequency reaches its peak, and it demands a response. Either you will awaken to it or sleep through another miracle. This hour, this divine moment, was already embedded into your destiny long before you knew lack, long before the struggle appeared, long before you questioned whether God saw you. He saw you. He never looked away, but He also knew that the breakthrough would only hold when you were alert enough to steward it. That's why 9 a.m. matters, not because of what's happening outside, but because of what's shifting inside. It is the inner world that controls the outer, and if you miss the signal, the prompting to believe, to act, to open your spirit, you delay what is already yours. The breakthrough isn't late. It's been waiting on your awakening. And now heaven is sounding the alarm through circumstance, through intuition. Through divine timing. You can't explain why you feel this way today, and that's exactly the point. It's spiritual. You've entered a divine window, a sacred portal where the blessings of God are not trickling, they're rushing toward those who say, yes, I hear you. I'm ready, but here's the truth many miss. The spiritual alarm doesn't sound comfortable. It doesn't whisper in lullabies. It shakes you. It interrupts your routine. It pulls you away from comfort zones and familiar thinking. You suddenly feel the urge to clean, to forgive, to speak, to give, to risk. Why? Because heaven is aligning your outer actions with the internal shift already happening. You're not just stepping into a financial break. Through, you're being recalibrated to hold it without sabotage. The 9 a.m. moment comes with conviction. It will call you to stop thinking small. It will ask you to stop praying with a begging mindset. It will require you to see money not as your salvation, but as a tool. You cannot miss this alarm by hitting snooze on your faith. This isn't the time to play it safe. This isn't the moment to rationalize or wait for another sign. This is the sign. The stirring is the signal, and the time is now. When heaven rings the alarm, it is never without reason. This isn't random. You didn't just stumble upon this message or feeling. It was guided. You were led here, and not just because of what you need, but because of who you are. You are not ordinary. You are chosen, set apart, destined not to scrape by, but to manifest the kingdom of heaven on earth, yes, even through your finances. You were born to overflow, to bless others, to fund missions, to uplift communities, to release people from bondage through generosity. But you cannot do that if you are asleep to the spiritual laws that govern abundance. That's why God wakes you up, not just to receive money, but to understand it, not just to touch wealth, but to embody it. That embodiment begins at the moment of awakening, and that's what 9 a.m. represents, the end of dreaming and the beginning of walking it out, the transition from imagining wealth to living it in truth. You don't just imagine break through, you assume it as your new normal. You don't wait for proof, you become the proof. Still, some will resist this moment. They will hear the alarm and roll back into bed of familiar struggle. They will feel the signal but deny it, waiting for external permission. But those who understand divine timing know this. The moment you feel the prompting is the moment to move. If God put it in your spirit today, then the provision for it has already been released. Funds are already lined up. The opportunities are already positioned. The helpers are already en route. But none of it can reach you if you're spiritually asleep. You must respond to the signal. You must act as if it is already done. That is how the chosen unlock what is theirs. They believe before they see. They walk in rooms not based on status, but on spiritual instruction. They give even when it doesn't make sense. They speak increase even when the bank account says otherwise. Why? Because they've heard the alarm. They've caught the frequency. They've responded to the 9 a.m. call, and it has changed everything. So what does response look like for you today? Maybe it's sitting in stillness and visualizing your wealth as if it's already yours. Maybe it's giving sacrificially, not out of obligation, but as a prophetic declaration that money flows to and through you. Maybe it's sending that invoice, making that call, launching that product, applying for that opportunity, or canceling that debt-filled agreement. The action isn't the point. The alignment is. You're not earning the break through your responding to it. The action you take is a demonstration of your awakened spirit. It says to heaven, I heard you, I trust you, I move with you, and heaven responds in kind. Doors open, clients call, debts dissolve, ideas come, peace floods in. Why? Because you are no longer fighting the current of your destiny. You are riding it. You are no longer asleep at the wheel. You are fully conscious, fully aligned, fully available to the abundance that was always yours. So as you feel this divine stirring, don't ignore it. Don't delay. Don't rationalize it away. This is your moment. This is your call. The alarm has sounded. 9 a.m. has arrived, not just on the clock, but in the spirit. And those who are awake to it will walk in favor that defies logic. Will you be among them? Will you rise from the slumber of disbelief and stand in the light of already done? Will you stop praying for scraps and start receiving the feast that's been prepared? Will you open now fully, without fear, without question? Because that's what this moment is about. That's what this hour demands. The breakthrough isn't coming, it's calling. Loudly, clearly, now. Hear the sound, feel the pull, respond with faith. This is your 9 a.m. and everything changes from here. The Bank of Heaven just released it. Why faith is your access code to financial overflow. There is a spiritual realm more real than the physical, more secure than any earthly economy, and it holds unlimited resources, divine connections, and miraculous provision. And it is being released to you now, not later, not someday, now. But this divine release doesn't respond to effort, degrees, or striving. It responds only to faith. Faith is the access code that unlocks the vaults of heaven. Faith is the invisible currency that speaks louder than bank balances and job titles. While the world fights for paper, the chosen ones are granted access to the invisible treasury of God. This is why the statement, a massive financial breakthrough hits your life today, is not an empty hope, it's a spiritual decree. A transaction has already been made in the unseen, and the moment you believe, deeply, undeniably, completely, you authorize its release in Your physical reality, you are not waiting on the breakthrough. The breakthrough is waiting on your agreement. It is not your hustle, but your harmony with divine law that causes the overflow to manifest. That is the mystery and the mastery of those who walk in spiritual power. They understand that money isn't pursued, it's attracted through awareness of source, and that source is God, infinite and unlimited. God doesn't run out, the bank of heaven doesn't collapse, the account with your name on it never runs low, it only stays locked when you walk in doubt. Faith is not a feeling, faith is a frequency, a realm of consciousness where you no longer negotiate with fear. It is the full body agreement with the invisible, the inner conviction that says it is done, even when nothing in the natural seems to support it. Most people treat faith like a gamble, praying, hoping, waiting, but faith is not a gamble, it is a knowing. It is an inner signature, a spiritual endorsement that authorizes heaven to deposit into your life what was already yours. That is why some experience sudden, supernatural provision, because they stopped waiting for evidence and became the evidence. They became the vessel that matched the vibration of abundance. They stopped speaking words of lack and began declaring truth. They no longer said, I hope it happens, but it has happened in the Spirit, and now I command my life to reflect it. This is the power of the chosen. We do not plead with heaven, we partner with it. We do not chase money, we embody wealth consciousness, and when we do, the bank of heaven releases not just what we need, but more than we can ask or think. You must understand, God is not moved by desperation, he is moved by faith. Tears alone do not shift things. It is the inner state that causes the outer world to move. Many have fasted, cried, and shouted, yet still walk in financial lack because their inner belief system remains bound to unworthiness and fear. But you chosen one, you are being called higher today. You are being called to understand that what God has for you is not limited by your job, your resume, or your current bank account. There is a supernatural source that responds to identity. When you step into the identity of the one who already has, the one who already receives, the one who walks in the fullness of the promise, you shift timelines, you collapse delay, you accelerate divine delivery. Why? Because you've matched heaven's signal, and heaven always responds to itself. It recognizes its own frequency. That's why when you move in faith, things that once took years begin to unfold in hours. It's not magic, it's alignment. Heaven responds to faith the way water responds to a sponge. It flows in, completely and immediately. So ask yourself, what belief are you holding about money, about wealth, about yourself? Because those beliefs are either your access code or your blockage. If you secretly believe you're unworthy, that money is evil, or that struggle makes you more holy, you are unconsciously rejecting the very breakthrough you've prayed for. God isn't withholding, your beliefs are. You must renew your mind to the truth that abundance is your spiritual inheritance. You're not stealing it, you're not begging for it, you're receiving what already belongs to you. This shift in belief is the key. It's what turns faith into reality. It's what moves miracles out of the spirit realm and into your hands. And once you make that shift, you'll begin to notice that money comes, not always through expected means, but always through divine orchestration. It might be a phone call, a connection, an idea, an unexpected refund, a favor, a cancellation of debt. But it always arrives, because heaven is never short on supply. The only thing heaven waits for is your belief that it is already done. This is why today is not an ordinary day. This is why 9 a.m. was marked in the realm of spirit as your moment of release. It's not the time on the clock, it's the timing of your agreement. You've walked through the fire, you've released old mentalities, you've stripped away dependency on others, you've endured the crushing of pride and the stretching of your faith, and now you stand at the threshold, not of effort, but of effortless release. You've crossed into the moment where heaven says, now they believe, they're ready, and that's all it takes. Not more grinding, not more manipulation, not more praying out of fear, just belief, just alignment, just radical, stubborn, immovable faith. This is how the chosen receive. We do not perform for it. We awaken to it. We realize that the treasury of heaven is not distant. It is not in the clouds. It is within us. The kingdom of God is within, and its economy responds to inner agreement. So speak it, declare it, walk in it, not tomorrow. Now say, I have received it. Say, I walk in overflow. Say, I am not waiting on money. Money is waiting on me. Refuse to allow your current balance to dictate your spiritual belief. Refuse to make fear your financial advisor. Refuse to live in a reality that God did not ordain for you. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and you are his child. Therefore, overflow is your portion, wealth is your assignment, provision is your baseline. Stop negotiating with doubt. Stop explaining away miracles. Stop playing small. Heaven has already authorized the release. Your name is on it. Your faith activates it. It's yours. Open your spirit, not your wallet. Open your heart, not your worry. Let the bank of heaven flow freely, because you no longer block it with fear. You are in agreement. You are aligned, and that chosen one is the only access code you'll ever need. Command it to appear. How to speak financial breakthrough into your reality. There is a secret hidden in plain sight, a divine authority that lies not in the hands of the world, but in the mouths of the chosen. It is the power to speak, not just as a request, but as a command, and to see reality shape itself around that word. When God said, "Let there be light," he did not consult the darkness. He declared the outcome, and in that same image you were made. You were not created to beg. You were not designed to hope timidly. You were fashioned in power, in dominion, in divine likeness. That means your words hold creative force, and when you say, "Breakthrough is here," the universe rearranges to honor that decree if you truly believe it. Today, at this moment in time, you are not being asked to wait for money to show up. You are being instructed to command it into visibility. This is the mystery that the world ignores, but the chosen walk in. You speak it before you see it, and you see it because you spoke it. God is waiting on your voice, not your fear. He's waiting on your conviction, not your caution. When you open your mouth with authority, you activate what has already been assigned to you. Financial breakthrough isn't in the future, it's in your language. It's hiding behind your hesitation. It's waiting in the realm of your words. The moment you stop speaking from lack and start declaring from the end result, the shift begins, not slowly, but immediately. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. Every word is a seed, and your reality is the harvest. For too long, you've spoken defeat disguised as humility. You've rehearsed the struggle, repeated the debt, reinforced the fear with every conversation, but heaven responds not to complaints. It responds to commandments that come from a spirit aligned with truth. Let the weak say, "I am strong." Speak those things that be not as though they were. These are not poetic suggestions. They are instructions on how to operate in kingdom power. If the bank account is empty, you don't describe it. You declare fullness. If the bills are mounting, you don't panic. You prophecy supply. If you feel uncertain, you don't confess fear. You command alignment. This is how the chosen walk. They don't echo what they see. They speak what they've been shown in spirit. Your job is not to report the natural. Your job is to command the supernatural into the natural. What you speak must match what God has already said. He said, "You are the head and not the tail." He said, "You shall lend and not borrow." He said, "Wealth and riches are in your house." So why are you speaking contradiction? Why are you declaring drought when heaven is pouring rain? You don't need a title to speak like this. You need faith. You don't need approval from men. You need awareness of your divine identity. The truth is, every time you speak with doubt, you place a hold on your own financial destiny. But when you speak in faith, you release the angels assigned to deliver what belongs to you. Don't you see, every breakthrough, every open door, every financial miracle you desire is already in motion. But your words are gatekeepers, and when you learn to command without apology, to speak as one who owns the promise, not one begging for it, everything shifts. You begin to vibrate at a level where money finds you, where favor locates you, where opportunities are drawn to you. You don't chase, you attract. You don't hustle endlessly, you create magnetically. You don't need a platform, you are the platform. The moment your words align with divine truth, your world must reflect that truth. But here's the catch. You must speak it even when everything in the natural contradicts it. You must look lack in the face and call it temporary. You must look at the delay and say, "You are dissolving now." You must look at the debt and declare, "You have no authority over me." This isn't denial, it's dominion. Denial ignores the facts. Dominion speaks higher truth over them. When you stand in spiritual authority and command finances to appear, you are not being greedy. You are being obedient, obedient to the principle that says life and death are in the power of the tongue. obedient to the pattern of the Creator who formed reality by speech. You are not just speaking to money, you are speaking to the atmosphere, to timelines, to matter itself, and matter listens. Energy rearranges, doors respond, ideas come, checks arrive, people remember you. This is not hype, it is law. And when your soul finally accepts that truth, the money must come, not because you chased it, but because you commanded it with bold, unwavering spiritual confidence. Now, understand this. Commanding doesn't mean controlling outcomes. It means speaking and trusting. It means speaking and letting go of how. It means saying, "Let there be," and resting in the knowing that the command was heard. This is the rest that comes with true authority. You're not frantic, you're not begging, you're sure, and that assurance is what heaven honors. The reason many don't see breakthrough is because they waver after they speak. They cancel their command with worry, but you must persist. Speak it and keep speaking. Command it and keep commanding until your inner world becomes so convinced that the outer world bows in surrender. You don't need to shout louder. You need to believe deeper. You don't need to convince anyone else. You need to convince yourself. Faith doesn't grow by force. It grows by focus. And the more you focus on truth, the more your voice becomes a channel of heaven's wealth. So today speak. Speak boldly. Say it out loud. Say it with all your might. My financial breakthrough has arrived. I am aligned with divine abundance. Money flows to me now. Provision is my portion. I command every blocked door to open. I command every delayed promise to manifest. I command unexpected income, divine appointments, supernatural provision, and overflowing increase. I do not shrink. I do not waver. I do not doubt. I am blessed beyond measure. I speak as one who knows, because it is already done. This is not positive thinking. This is prophetic activation. This is spiritual authority. This is divine decree, and your words will not return void. They will accomplish what you send them to do, just like God, just like truth, just like law. From this moment forward, refuse to speak anything that doesn't serve your breakthrough. Let every word be a seed of abundance. Let every declaration be an act of creation. Let your voice carry the vibration of heaven's economy. You are not poor. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are chosen. You are appointed. You are rich beyond imagination. And now it's time for your life to reflect it. So speak, chosen one. Speak as one who holds the promise. Speak as one who lives in overflow. Speak as one who cannot be denied. Heaven is listening, earth is responding, and your financial breakthrough is not coming, it's here.